Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a worth the buy or not foundation review on the very new Flesh makeup foundation. So I went to my local Ulta and I was really impressed with the large selection of colors they had. I think that was absolutely amazing. It reminded me a lot of how the Fenty Beauty display looks like. It starts from lightest and it goes all the way to a very, very dark shade. So, and they have like every other color in between. So it was really cool to see that. And I was very, very excited. But then once I had figured out my shade, I picked it up and I was like, this is so small. Like, look at this. This is how big the foundation is. It is 0.16 ounces. I was like, oh, maybe it's just like a sample and then you go up front and they give you like the full size, but no, this is what it looks like. It's supposed to be a super portable foundation. You can also use it to highlight and to contour, and these do retail for $18 each, which, to be honest, I think $18 for this little guy is still pricey. I don't think this is considered drugstore makeup because it was on the prestige side of Ulta. It wasn't on their drugstore side. I'm like, $18 for that? Really? So today we're gonna put the formula to the test. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some moisturizer. I am a little bit sweaty, excuse me. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm sweaty. Like, I don't get it. So I'm gonna be using my Tatcha water cream, and we are just going to be popping this right on our skin. I need this hydration. I went to Soul Cycle this morning and I did Soul Survivor, which is 60-minute class, and I do it every Sunday. But for some reason today, I am dead. Like, I got home, I was drenched in sweat, and I showered and I ate something real quick and just napped for like an hour. I was like, I can't function right now. And then I was like, you know what? I need to film. I need to get this underway. So now we're here and I'm pumped. So we have our moisturizer on, and I just love the water cream because it's super hydrating on the skin. And I did review the Too Faced Hangover Primer Set and Refresh Spray. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this again because I did like how it hydrated my skin. My skin is a little bit dry on the cheeks. So I kind of want to bring back that hydration, and I kind of want something quicker than having to really buff it in. You know what I mean? So, oh my God, that was good. That felt really good. So let's go ahead and open the foundation. This is what it looks like in the little bottle. This is in the shade 24 Dulce de Leche. So let's go ahead and apply this. So I brought you guys in closer so you can go ahead and see the skin before I apply the foundation. So on this side, we're gonna go ahead and use a sponge. And then on this side, we're gonna go ahead and use our brush. So let's just go ahead and strike this bad boy on. It's definitely a little bit more thicker in consistency than the other stick foundations that I have used. So I'm just really stripping it on because I feel like I need a little bit more on this side. Okay, so now we're gonna begin blending it. So it's blending right away. Okay, so that actually blended really well. I'm surprised. Because when I first applied it, like when I was striping it on my skin, I felt like it was a little bit thick, so I kind of had to go really like precisely to like really get that like nice creamy consistency of it. Usually with stick foundations, I feel like as soon as I stripe it, it's really, really creamy and it just feels nice. But this was feeling like a little dry. But now that I went ahead and blended it out, it actually looks really good and it covered really well. Like, there's no redness peeking through right here, as you can see. It looks snatched. I used quite a bit though, like I'm not gonna lie, I did probably like 4 stripes here and then 3 stripes up here. So we used a good amount, but that amount covered my rosacea perfectly. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit because it does look a little bit more tan. That looks nice. Went on really well with the sponge. I did feel like with the sponge, I kind of have to go a little bit harder in with it to really blend it out. But as soon as I tapped a little bit harder than I usually do, it blended out perfectly because you can see the blend is great. But I did feel like I had to tap in a little stronger and with more force than I do with my other foundation sticks like the Infallible and the Maybelline. So that's just something to note. So you guys can see right there the difference. No foundation, foundation. And it doesn't look luminous. It has like a subtle radiance from within. Like it's giving my skin a natural glow, but it doesn't look like greasy or too dewy. I know that it said that it was supposed to be more of like a luminous finish and a medium coverage. So I'm definitely getting like, I feel like it's medium to full coverage because I feel like when you stripe it in 4 times, you get like a full coverage finish. But I feel like the luminosity, I'm not really seeing it as much as I would see it with some other stick foundations. So I actually like this for me who has oily skin. I feel like it's a good fit. So let's go ahead and do the other side. It definitely is a little bit of thicker consistency. I feel like now that I had kind of striped it a few times on this side went a little tiny bit more creamy, but it's still not as creamy as what I'm used to with stick foundations. Not that it's a bad thing, but I feel like on somebody that has dry skin, you may be like, this is a little too thick. So we're using Ardell Tools Precision Kabuki brush in 957. I always use this brush. It's really nice and fluffy, and we're gonna begin just buffing the product in. Okay, I feel like with this brush, I'm not putting as much force as I did with the sponge, and it's blending really fast. So you can see how fast that blended in. Yeah, that's a big difference. Really, really nice. I don't know, I feel like it looks good with both of them, to be completely honest, but I like how fast it blended out with the brush. It was a lot quicker than having to blend it out with the sponge. And for some strange reason, I feel like the side with the sponge looks a little tiny bit more luminous than the side with the brush. I don't know if it's because we literally just applied this, so it's still kind of like setting into the skin, or if it's the tool that we use. So I guess we'll see if this turns a little bit more luminous as the minutes go by, but it went on really nicely. There is a little area where I want to add a little tiny bit more. Right here, I feel like I could use a little bit more. So as for the shade, I actually swatched about 3 of them, including this one. 2 of them were lighter, and the one that was right below this one, I feel like it was a little too pink, which is why I went with Dulce de Leche. And to be honest, I feel like it's a pretty good match. It is a tad bit darker than what I thought it would be, but I don't think it's far off. I think it's maybe just a little orangey. That's why I'm like, it's darker. But I think that if it were a little bit more neutral, it would be like the perfect combination. But I think with some concealer, I can make it work. That is the foundation on. I'm actually really impressed with how well it blended with the brush and the sponge. It was definitely not the consistency that I thought it would be. I thought it was gonna be a lot creamier, but it's okay. So now we're gonna go ahead and kind of look into our mirror and see what happens. Okay, so you guys can see, actually, you know what it is? I think now that it's setting into my skin, it looks a little bit more luminous. So I spoke too soon. I don't think it was the brush that made it look this way. I think that once it sets into your skin, it starts to give you that luminosity. So it definitely does have a little bit of a luminous finish, like the description said of the foundation. It kind of reminds me of the foundation that we just reviewed, the Too Faced, when it comes in terms of looking very skin-like. This one isn't really accentuating my texture or anything like that. I feel like it just looks really nice and smooth. It doesn't feel like you're wearing a heavy-duty foundation. It feels very lightweight. And as I feel like as the seconds go by, it's getting a little bit more and more luminous. So I probably will be setting this with some powder and baking just to see that it doesn't get too oily for me, because I do have really oily skin and it's summertime and I don't want it to get like extremely oily. But I think that on somebody that has like normal skin, it'll just look nice and fresh. So those are my thoughts. It's not getting onto any of my texture, which is good, something that I really appreciate. So I think we're looking good right now. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I will be back in a little bit to give you guys my first impressions on how it wears with the rest of my products and how it's wearing on the skin. So stay tuned if you want to see more about this new Flesh foundation stick. Okay, so I went ahead and finished my entire face of makeup, and this is the final look that we came out with. I actually used today the Dominique Lemonade palette. I've been obsessed with that palette. It is absolutely so beautiful, so summer appropriate. It's like my love. So anyways, I wanna go ahead and start off with my look. I really quickly wanna say I will make sure I have the information of how I created this makeup, so like all the products I use in my face, in the description box down below, so you guys can go ahead and look at that if you guys want to refer to anything or want to know what I have exactly on my skin besides the foundation. But I want to now move on to the foundation. So I have to say it looks really, really nice. I did go ahead and bake it. I used my airspun powder again and just my sponge and placed the powder in the areas where I tend to get oily, which is around my T-zone and also my smile lines. They get really, really oily. So I just went ahead and locked it in with some powder. And to be honest, it also looks very, very nice. It does not look cakey whatsoever on the skin. If you have oily skin, I would definitely say make sure that you go ahead and bake this, because as the minutes go on after applying it, it does start to pick up that luminosity. For somebody that is dry, you'll love it because it definitely will give you that luminosity you want. Probably not as much luminosity as it gives me because I do have the oily skin, so it probably shines through quicker, but you will definitely see a little bit more radiance. But right now, because I did bake it, it does look nice and like a soft matte. Then I went ahead and used my Morphe blush palette, and I was applying my blush, and I was so impressed with how easily it applied and how just seamlessly it went onto the skin, because I feel like sometimes with some foundations, the blush or the bronzer starts to break apart, and the bronzer or the blush did not break apart with this. I also used my Too Faced Born This Way concealer to conceal my under eyes and to highlight a little bit, because it was a tiny bit darker than what I prefer foundation wise. So I wanted to go ahead and use this, and it worked really, really good. Blended right away, blended seamlessly, didn't make the foundation look awful or break apart, and we really appreciate that. But other than that, it looks very, very nice on the skin, and I think it's a perfect match right now. I feel like it's starting to look more of the shade that I am down here. I feel like at first it was a little tiny bit darker, but I think I will definitely keep the shade Dulce de Leche, because I feel like it definitely works well with my complexion, especially like summer shades. I feel like I'm lacking of summer shades. Besides the Born This Way foundation we just tried, that one's like a perfect summer shade. I also feel like this one would be a good summer shade. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and wear this for the rest of the day, and then we can go ahead and do our final update and decide whether this Flesh makeup is worth the buy or not. So if you want to see if this is worth your $18, then please go ahead and keep watching, because I'm honestly kind of impressed so far, but we still have a long day to go. Okay, so we are back. It is now 10 p.m. at night, and we've worn this foundation for the entire day. And let me just say that it is starting to look luminous. I personally, as an oily skin person, don't think it's anything too severe. I think I can do with these oils, I just can go back in and blot, especially around my nose where I feel like it looks a little bit more oily than everywhere else. I have to give it to Flesh for coming out with a really good, nice formula that definitely feels good on the skin. It feels very lightweight, has really nice coverage, and definitely lasts on the face. We've worn this the entire day, and there's no signs of it wearing off. I was kind of touching my face a little bit because I had like an itch on my face, and I don't see anything coming off. All the products on the foundation, like the blush, the highlight, everything else is still perfectly in place on the face. So that's another good thing. But I definitely do see my glow peeking through. Formula wise, I think it is worth $18 because I think the formula is really nice and it's very comfortable on the skin. It's very wearable. It's something that I could see myself wearing constantly. Now the thing is, because I have 0.16 ounces and I'm gonna twist it as much as I can. You get this much product. Do you see that? I feel like for me, if I were to wear or for like somebody that plans to use this as their everyday foundation, it's gonna go by so fast. Like you're gonna be using this like that, and you're gonna have to purchase it again for $18. And again, it's gonna end up being the price of like a high-end foundation in like within 3 months or so of you having this, because if you wear this every day, it's gonna go by really quick. So I don't think it's worth it in that aspect. But formula-wise, I think the formula is really nice. If this product would have been a little bit bigger and had a little bit more product, I feel like it would have been a major hit, because you would have had all these color selections. You would have had a good formula. I think this is a really good formula. It's very wearable for all different types of skin types, which is awesome. But I think the sizing is a little problematic, because for somebody that wants to wear this every day, you're going to use it up super fast. Now, I think that the whole concept of them making it super portable, I think that's really cute. I can definitely see me reaching towards this, like when I'm traveling, when I'm going on vacation, when I want something that I really like the formula of it, but it's also really carry-on friendly, where I can just throw it in my bag and add like a bunch of palettes. Because sometimes one of the biggest things that takes up a lot of space in my makeup bag is foundation. So it's good to have something be so small and portable friendly. Also, if you're somebody on the go who doesn't really wear that much makeup but wants something light that they can put on every day and will like not be using too much, like more of a natural wear, then I feel like this could be good. So I feel like it's really up to you guys on this one, but I do have to say I think the formula is worth it. The size, not the best for me, but what can we do? That's what they decided to do with their makeup. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate the fact that they have such a large range and they really develop colors for everybody, because I feel like that is so needed in this makeup community, and I think that they're on the right path. And I'm sure that in the future, this is a new brand. They're going to, you know, work through the things that didn't work out the best for them and make it better. So those are all my thoughts for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you guys are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you enjoyed watching this, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing these videos. And if you guys have any suggestions on videos and reviews on foundations that you want to see, then please go ahead and leave them down below in my description box so I can go ahead and test them out. So I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye, guys.